Over the last few years, I've been able to make well over $1 million with my passion. So in this video, I just want to give you guys a couple lessons that I've learned being in the trenches and doing this over the last couple years. So if that's you, you want to start a business based around your passion, or you already have one, you can take some of these lessons and apply it to whatever it is that you are doing. Very first lesson I learned is you can really make money off of anything as long as you know how to get traffic and you know how to properly monetize and scale that traffic. So there's a couple different main ways that you are going to be able to monetize your audience. That can be with a product or it can be with a service. Now, with both of these, there's obviously different ways to do that. With the service side of things, you can do that in person, you can do it online, you can do it one-on-one, you can do it one-to-many. So I think the very first thing you need to do is obviously, okay, know what your passion is, know how I'm going to start to generate some traffic, how I'm going to post about that, and then how I'm going to monetize it. So obviously, as long as there's more than like 5 to 10 people interested in that, there's definitely ways that you can monetize it. So for example, say you're really interested in cars, you can then leverage that into talking about cars, which is going to attract people who are interested in cars, have certain cars, and then you can leverage that into a detail business. Or you can do the same thing, leverage that into a info product about how to detail your own cars or how to start your own detailing business, right? There's obviously a lot of different ways you can do that. For me, my passion was basketball. I leveraged that into one-on-one personal training. Then I leveraged that into group training. Then I leveraged that into a facility. So I was able to scale from there. Then I also leveraged that into media. So a lot of different ways that you can go even just from the start. But again, service. And then on the product side, like I was saying, you can do info products, which is going to be very high margin, which can be very, very effective. This is a little bit difficult if, again, you don't have a certain reputation or you don't know how to actually market and scale and do all that kind of stuff. Or you can have a actual physical product, which is going to take a little bit more money, but especially in the long term can be very, very profitable. And again, you don't have to go all in on one thing or the other. You can start down one side. I recommend the service side and then start to grow, kind of move up the ladder from there, and then maybe pivot into a product side as well. So I would just have a clear idea of, okay, here's how I'm going to get traffic. Here's how I'm going to create content around my ideal customer of how I'm going to monetize, start to funnel that traffic into that. And then, okay, how am I going to scale from there? Doing one-on-one stuff is great no matter what your service is, but at the end of the day, your time is going to be limited. So how am I then going to scale from there? Am I going to hire people or am I then going to go to one-on-many so that way I'm able to service more people at the same time? So getting traffic is one thing, servicing the client is another. Just have a clear idea of how you're going to do both. The second thing is because you're building a business around your passion, oftentimes people treat it like a hobby and they only kind of do it when it's fun. And they also don't feel like charging other people because it's their hobby. For me personally, this was something I had to deal with in the beginning where I love training. When I was getting paid for it, it almost felt like it didn't feel right. Like I was like, oh wow, I'm actually getting paid for doing something that I like. Especially working a couple other jobs before, I was always in the mindset of, okay, I have to do something that I don't want to do to get paid. It just is what it is. Now when I'm getting paid and doing something that I actually enjoy, it just felt wrong. So I was like, you know what, I don't even really feel like I need to charge, but you need to charge. You need to treat it like an actual business from the start, or it will become a hobby because you will not be able to make enough money off it. So that's the biggest mistake that I think a lot of people make. They don't want to charge what they're actually worth. They don't want to treat it like a business. Okay, understanding how am I going to scale? How am I going to monetize this? How am I going to run traffic? They just look at it as, oh, I'm passionate about this. This is my hobby. This is what I do for fun. Is this what you're doing for money? You need to treat it like a business. Remove the idea that this is your passion and this is your hobby and this is what you do for fun, and treat it like a business. Yes, you can have fun, but treat it like a business. Make your money so that way you can continue doing this over the long term. Or again, like I was saying, it's just going to become a hobby because you're not able to make enough money. Then you got to go work another job and then you're stressed and then you're really just back to square one. You might as well just go work a 9 to 5, drop it and just do it for fun. The third thing, which I think is one of the most important things, is before you jump into this or at the beginning, know what you are optimizing for. Are you just optimizing so you can make enough money to live but enjoy what you do? Are you optimizing for time freedom, for location freedom? Are you optimizing so you can set your family up for success? If your main goal is to make money, doing what you're passionate about may not be the best business model. There may be better ways that you can make money. Yes, it may not be as fun, but it's going to be more successful in terms of what you're optimizing for. So I think this is the biggest thing. One of the biggest mistakes is people think, oh, as long as you do what you're passionate about, you'll never work a day in your life. That's great. But if your main goal is you're not able to accomplish it by doing this business because you're passionate about it, you're only able to make 5, 10K a month. So you're never able to set up your family. Your wife has to go work, whatever it may be, right? You just need to know, what am I optimizing for? For me personally, my main goal was to just do what I enjoy. Now my main goal is obviously to make money, to set my family up and to be able to be successful. So for me, that may not be the best business model or best thing for me to do to get to that end goal. So I think a lot of people just jump in because it's what they know, or it's, hey, this is what I'm passionate about. That's great. But if you can't make money and your family isn't happy, or you can't travel when you want to, are you really happy in the long term? Yeah, you may enjoy your work, but you're not able to accomplish your main priorities via your current business. So you just need to understand, okay, what am I optimizing for? What are my top 3 priorities? Does this check all these boxes? And can I get to that long-term goal and check all of those priorities with this vehicle that I'm after right now? So even with that in mind, yes, there may be better business models, but if you can stick with really anything long enough, even if it's not ideal in the first 2-3 years, if you're passionate about it and it's a solid business, you can ultimately scale it to the point where you can have all of the things you want. But it may just take longer. Again, there may be better vehicles, there may be better ways to make money. Just make sure you kind of look at the bigger picture before you start, before you get too in deep and realize, hey, this isn't really working working, I need to jump ship and go do something else. The fourth thing is realizing that just because you enjoy it doesn't mean it's not going to be work. There's going to be things that you don't want to do. So a lot of people get in the mindset of, oh, I don't really want to do this. There's friction here because I don't enjoy this, when my whole reality has just been being able to do what I like. So now I have to go do something that I don't like. Oh, it doesn't feel right. That's just life. Running your business is not always going to be fun, even if it's what you are passionate about. So for me personally, love basketball, love training, but then there's certain parts of the business where I don't enjoy it as much. I'm not naturally inclined to doing certain things. So I had to learn those skills, but that's just part of the business. And then the other thing to keep in mind is if you're passionate about something and you do it enough times, eventually it may no longer become your passion. So if you're passionate about, for me, basketball, right? And you do that every day, all day for 10 years, it may no longer become what you're passionate about. So just be careful in understanding that, hey, I may do this and it may no longer become my passion. If this is your escape, whatever it is you're trying to build your business around, keep that in mind. It may be better to just do something else so you can continue to have that as your escape and something that you enjoy and just purely passionate about, and don't tie it to actual work, making money in your whole entire livelihood, because again, with that stress of running a business and all that stuff, you may no longer enjoy it. So just keep that in mind. It's going to be work. Just because you're doing something you're passionate about doesn't mean there's going to be certain things that you don't like. There's going to be things that you have to learn that you don't want to learn, that there's going to be days that aren't as fun. That just is the way that it is. It's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows. At the end of the day, it is still work, especially if you're trying to do it at a super high level. So at the end of the day, that's just a couple lessons that I have learned. If that is currently you, where you are running a business that's based around your passion, or you want to make more money, or you want to start a business with your passion, you can feel free to contact me, comment down below. I'll put my email in the description so you guys can reach out to me and I can hopefully help you guys scale. So if you enjoyed the video, as always, drop a comment, like, subscribe. Appreciate it. See you soon. Peace.